Greetings, trainers, and welcome to the Onyx
It's not the Onyx Tavern. This is the Lavender Gym. Hello, I am Tryaz.
And I am Raptor. Today is our first podcast of the new Pokemon series here at the Onyx Tavern YouTube channel. And, Tryaz, what are we talking about today for our first topic?
Today we are talking about our favorite adaptations of the video games. Now we're talking storylines here, so no trading card games or collectibles or anything like that. We're sticking strictly to the anime or the manga. We're talking pros, cons, what the differences are, and obviously which one is better in our opinion. Feel free to comment and post later on in the video as well.
And to clarify, the three adaptations we're going to discuss is Pokemon Adventures, the manga, or Pokemon Special as it's known in Japan, the main Pokemon anime, starring the idiot Ash, and this is a bit of a cheat, but we're going to do it anyway, Pokemon Origins, the recent anime special, commemorating Red and Blue. So, let's take it from the top with the most famous, the main anime.
Ash, you had one job.
Yeah, one job. Become a Pokemon Master. And you have consistently failed at that.
How long has it been? How long has he been 10? A while, right?
Well, I mean, you can't really get on him about that because, face it, he's far from the only cartoon character who's never aged.
True, very true.
Now, what bothers me more than him being 10 is the fact that he never seems to get any more skilled.
Not true. Diamond and Pearl series actually was the most impressive battle we've ever seen from Ash next to the Orange League, because he did win the Orange League. But instead of just using the Pokemon he had caught, I mean, in the first series he only had the original 150 to pick from, but being able to go through all four generations and give him a huge repertoire actually made him appear to be a smart trainer. I mean, he took out Darkrai and Latios in a battle. Not many trainers can say they've taken out two legendaries on a battle.
And that's far from the only legendaries taken out. Because
exactly. I mean, but as far as like official tournaments in the anime and stuff, that's the one time we actually saw Ash be a true trainer.
However, let's consider that in Black and White, he somehow forgot
everything.
He forgot that he had an impressive repertoire of high-level, powerful Pokemon sitting back at Oak's lab.
And then all of a sudden, he remembers he has Charizard.
Yeah. This is a minor thing. Don't want to spend too much time on this. When Charizard came back, I thought for sure it was going to end in him Mega Evolving.
I'm pretty sure, because if you look at Ash's team, he has so many Mega Evolutions. If they don't have him calming some of the Pokemon to test out these Mega Evolutions,
or catching something that can, maybe something he didn't.
He owns a Bulbasaur, Charizard, and Squirrel. Only Charizard can Mega Evolve. He has a Heracross that can Mega Evolve as well. So he has like some slight uncommons for Mega Evolution. So it is possible.
And he used to own a Larvitar. Maybe that thing could come back.
That would be interesting to see.
Okay, he also has Gibble.
He does have Gibble. He could bring Gibble back, yes, but Gibble is tiny. But that's all speculation.
Yeah, but anyway, so other than Ash's idiocy as a trainer, let's talk about some of the other pros and cons.
Team Rocket's definitely a pro. Like, seriously. As much as they try and steal Pikachu,
they're a pro and a con, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Pro in that they're the most entertaining characters on the show.
And they proceeded to be the worst of the job for 20 years. That's the con.
And yeah, that's the con. They literally bring no suspense to an episode. And so it got very repetitive that it would be Ash stumbles into a new place, meets a new person, and then Team Rocket tries to steal Pikachu, steal the featured Pokemon of the episode, and then blah.
Yeah.
And really the only time they didn't do that was in tournament episodes or in gym leader episodes.
When they were working.
Although they would occasionally come in to ruin Ash's gym battle.
Yeah. It's not unlike them to be like that.
Yeah, but that being said, despite the fact that the villains are mostly useless and there's really no story progression, there is one pro I find to it compared to the other adaptations. And this is more so in the recent series than the older series. The Pokemon personalities and their relationships with their trainers.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really until it wasn't really present in the first series other than Pikachu.
Yeah.
Charizard had personality, but Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Pidgeotto, they didn't really have personalities. Then they started playing with personality more in Johto.
Yeah, Cyndaquil was the first one I could say that had personality. Trico, though, in Advanced, was the first Pokemon that Ash probably caught that had literally its own personality, no matter what.
And then Corphish had a very distinct...
Corphish!
Yeah, Corphish had a very distinct personality.
Corphish!
Oh, what else did he have in the Advanced Generation?
He had
his Torkoal. His Torkoal was a crybaby.
Snorunt was thank you for saving me and always would do what Charizard did except with Ice Beam.
Yeah, and then there were more of those distinct personalities.
Gibble biting his head.
Yeah, exactly. And so that continued around on. In Black and White, his Snivy was a major flirt.
She was a major flirt.
And his Oshawott was...
Jealous.
Yeah, jealous, but also a bit of a braggart. Had a tantrum, would occasionally throw tantrums.
And always had to be the best. Oshawott.
Exactly. And compared to the other adaptations, the Pokemon just don't have as much personality.
Froakie in X has probably better than Trico, I'd say, because it shows Ash is his trainer, not the other way around.
Yeah, that thing sought out Ash.
Yeah.
So
back on track here.
Yeah, and that's something that's just not present in the other adaptations. And face it, when we're playing Pokemon, we project personality traits onto our Pokemon. Whether it just be circumstance in the battles that shapes how we think of their personalities. Mm-hmm. And then you get things like Pokemon to Me with X and Y lets you really...
the Nintendogs of Pokemon.
Yeah, lets you really personify your Pokemon. So that's one thing that I really like. And movies,
Obviously.
Something about the movies that really the games themselves don't even do is they make legendary Pokemon truly legendary.
Truly legendary, especially in the Power of One. That was probably the most significant time they did it. I mean, the first movie, Mewtwo was the creation, obviously the most powerful Pokemon Masters, also the most powerful Pokemon, but they really made a legend and a puzzle about it in order to summon Lugia. So
exactly, and the other...
Like with the Secret of the Unknown, all it was the unknown making illusions of everything. So it wasn't.
But that was
no, dude. The unknowns are absolutely ridiculous.
And then let's skip forward to the Diamond and Pearl era. The fact that Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina are shown to be powerful gods of time, space, and antimatter, or the dimension in between, whatever you want to think of it.
Yeah.
And then compared to in the games where Dialga and Palkia have the same catch rate as a Chatot.
Which is interesting.
Because it blew my mind the first time I was playing Diamond. I thought, I'm going to save my Master Ball because there's probably going to be something more powerful. So I stocked up on Ultra Balls. I got something that in my team that had Thunder Wave. I was ready to have a long drawn-out fight. Whittle his health down. Paralyze him. First Ultra Ball. What the fuck?
Right? Yeah, no, that was pretty... Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of things. But my biggest thing is what I don't like about the anime is I wish they'd done what Origins did and follow the game and then have the movies be Ash. Because that would have made some sense to a degree. But then they would have had to explain the whole Brock and Misty following him, obviously.
Yeah, and now let's use that as a transition point. Let's talk about the second major anime adaptation. Because... Yes, the Legend of Thunder and Pokemon Chronicles were technically separate shows, but they are still part of the main anime universe. But let's look at Origins, the first distinct anime that's adapting Pokemon, but not part of the main anime. And really, I adore this thing.
It made sense. It actually made sense.
I love it so much more. When I watch it, it makes me feel a little sad that this is what the main anime could have been.
Exactly. It does really put a damper on everything.
Because let's look at some of the pros here. It has a full character arc for its protagonist. Red goes from an inexperienced trainer to the league champion. He doesn't get punked at the last minute by someone who just happens to have better Pokemon than his.
And looks identical to him, Richie.
Or just has random legendary Pokemon out of nowhere.
Tobias.
And it lets him have a conclusion to his arc. He completes the Pokédex, he's the champion, catches Mewtwo, but it lets the adventure still be on.
I'm gonna go find you. Nice try. Good luck. Now, kind of continuing with that, transitioning into the mangas actually adapt their own story as well. Like, we see the characters themselves develop more. Like, for example, Gold's a huge fisherman, kind of obnoxious, and while we end up finding huge
And Gold also has... He also goes into bat. He launches his Pokeballs by hitting him with a pool cue.
I know, he's super... It's awesome.
And all of the trainers in Pokemon Special / Adventures, whatever. We're just going to call them manga. All of the manga trainers have their own things that really set them apart from other characters. They're not carbon copies of previous characters. Cough. Dawn. Cough.
Dawn.
And let's look at the original trio plus Yellow. They all have very distinct personalities. They all play well off of each other. And something that I adore about the manga that other adaptations don't do, they really play with the capabilities of Pokemon. They look at those Pokédex entries and see what these things could actually be like.
Yeah, in real life, like, there are very menacing ones. Like, for example, like, we actually see Death of Pokemon in the manga. We see a Charmeleon, correct? Charmeleon,
yes, Blue Charmeleon.
Blue Charmeleon
slashes Koga's Arbok in half.
Yeah, just dead. No excuse. Just there's two pieces of Arbok there.
Chop it in half.
Just
bam.
nothing.
And in that same chapter, we had those zombie Pokemon because that was the creepy Pokemon Tower that we imagined when we were playing as kids.
Yep.
Compared to the poorly lit playhouse that we got in the main anime.
Yeah. That was...
But some of the other cool things, such as the fact that Green uses her Blastoise to fly.
Blue, you mean?
Blue, yes.
In the original Japanese translation, yes.
Yes, for the... All right.
No, actually, I think it's still green because they do refer to it.
No. In the original Japanese, it was red and green because those were
red and green. I'm talking about in the American translation.
In the American translation, she's green.
Okay.
So, for the sake of
simplicity,
let's just go with red the protagonist, blue the rival, and green the girl.
Makes sense.
Yeah, green uses her Blastoise to fly. She uses her Ditto to mess with people.
She actually floats away on her Jigglypuff.
Exactly. So it's really creative how they use their Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that, as much as I love Origins didn't do.
And it even gives like I said, back to going into the characteristics of the individual characters, Ruby and Sapphire, Brendan and May respectively. May was the one who was going off and getting the badges, while Brendan was being, oh, screw you, I'm going to do my own thing, and going to contests, and basically shun the world.
And what I like about that chapter is that, those two have a romantic relationship with each other. Which is, despite what shippers would like to think, that never happens in the main anime, even though Serena's arc is based around her crush on Ash.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Serena is in love with Ash.
Oh no, she totally is. In fact, it's pointed out. Have you watched much of the X and Y anime?
Yes, I have. I remember you from when I was a kid. Oh, but I'm nervous. Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, she. It's obvious. It is plainly obvious.
But as much as I do enjoy the manga, there are a few things that bug me about it. First of all, sometimes the darkness can get a bit excessive. Now let me explain here, because I enjoy a dark story. I mean, come on, one of my favorite things is the Crow. The fact that in the Red and Blue arc, half of the Kanto gym leaders were Team Rocket. And I just thought, can they be honorable gym leaders? Does everyone have to be caught up in some kind of evil?
Well, don't forget the Elite Four were also presumed as evil when they were first introduced.
Oh yeah, and they were worse.
Yeah, they were
much worse.
They were just wicked, is what they were.
Yeah,
they weren't
this is a bit of a spoiler, but for those who aren't aware, in the yellow arc of Pokemon Special, the Elite Four had a plan to summon Lugia to exterminate humanity. And Vermilion City is completely destroyed by, I believe it was Lance's Dragonite.
Yeah.
But, to harken back to my issue with the Team Rocket gym leaders, they got redemption, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then one additional thing that bothers me is it's it's just stringent adherence to the mechanics of the games. I appreciate trying to adapt parts of the games because, you play with it in the game, you want to see it utilized in these stories.
Yeah.
But some of it's just weird. The most egregious one to me is the Versus Seeker. The Versus Seeker in the Fire Red and Leaf Green arc senses the fighting spirit of other trainers.
When in reality, it should work like an avalanche beacon and just beep whenever somebody's near you.
Like Street Pass on your 3DS. So, but again, it's probably my favorite just because it's kept going right alongside the anime and the games, and it's constantly proving itself to be better than the anime.
Yeah, no, that's usually how the mangas work in the end anyway, no matter what series you're talking about.
But, we kind of skipped over it, so let's lastly talk about Origins.
We mentioned Origins in the beginning. We talked about it, remember?
No, but we kind of just jumped past it, because there is more that I wanted to say before we transition into
what did you want to say?
I guess this isn't even much of an issue, but the length. It could have been a 13-episode anime. I would have been okay with a 13-episode anime. It doesn't have to be a 26er or a 52 one. It felt like Nintendo could have done more with it.
Agreed. I mean, it was finally nice to see how everything worked out correctly. But they definitely could have made it like a mini special series that they've done for other animes in the past.
And speaking of anime, Johnny Young Bosch, a.k.a. Adam the Second Black Power Ranger, a.k.a. Lelouch Lamperge of Code Geass, a.k.a.
Green Zeo, Green Turbo, Ichigo Kurosaki of Bleach. We could go on and on about this. There's so many. He has the great privilege of playing Brock.
Yeah, when I watched the dub for the first time, because I watched the sub before it came out, but then when I heard his voice coming out of Brock's mouth, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, no, anything that Johnny is in, it's going to be good.
But lastly, I want to talk about what was for me the single best part of Origins. All of the little details and references to the story in the games and little mechanics in the games.
The Pokédex entries, the capturing other people's Pokemon,
or the fact that it begins with the startup screen.
Yes, that was the most brilliant thing. The original Game Boy startup. New game, do you want to continue? Yes. And the intro was the intro from the game.
Yeah, and then other little things like in that montage of Red trying to capture all the other Pokemon after becoming the champion, of him being in the Safari Zone and a Chansey. He's like trying to choose between the rock or the bait, and the Chansey runs away.
Yep. No! Get back here!
And face it, Lavender Town being the focus of an episode, is that not the biggest bone to fans? Because what's one of the most popular things about Red and Blue? It's Lavender Town.
Lavender Town. I mean, hence the name of the podcast.
And of course, the story of Cubone, because people love the story of Cubone and Marowak. And there were, I'm trying to think of other ones.
That's about really it. They really did run through the game kind of quick. Although, if you look at the playtime, it really looks like they did spend a bit too much time on it, if you ask me. Like, I remember even once I got a general feel for Pokemon, it still took me like
Well,
30, 40 hours.
How long did you catch them all in that original playthrough?
Not in the original playthrough, but...
Because Red caught them all.
Yeah, well, no, he still beat the Elite Four and had to go back and find more, so...
Okay, well, speaking of Origins, this was a bit of a sticking point among some fans. What did you think of Red utilizing Mega Charizard X to fight Mewtwo?
Excellent introduction of Mega Evolution to the anime and how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
However, kind of was like a, wow, you made us fight with regular Pokemon. Why would you do that to us, Nintendo?
To me, it almost felt out of place.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's in this strange world where there seem to be no other generations, because you see no references to the... Although there is one minor reference to other generations. If you look very closely in the Hall of Fame scene, you can see a Slowking on one of the...
Huh.
It's very hard to see, but it's there. And so it just felt weird. This Gen 6 mechanic that was very removed from a lot of things in Gen 1 just comes out of nowhere, and then they pull that. And yeah, that's totally a promotion for X and Y. It's like, yeah, you've had your 3.5 episodes of Gen 1 fan service. Now here's something from the new game. Go buy it.
Yep. As I said, Nintendo just trying to get that extra dollar out of us.
Trolltendo. No, Troll Freak. That's the one.
Troll Freak.
Oh yeah, just ask the competitive battlers about good old Troll Freak.
Funny, because I'm a competitive battler.
Yeah, I was playing right wing for a while, but then I kind of fell out. Fucking school.
Yeah.
But
overall, I don't know. If I had to pick my favorite adaptation, it would probably be the anime purely for the movies, because they do give us the legendary insights and have their own little story.
And they're just beautiful to watch.
Exactly, and they just, yeah, we've had multiple incorporations, but hey, we realize there's a true connection between Oak and Ash now, so...
Yeah, and they're exciting to watch. Now, my favorite, as I said before, it's the manga. If not just because it's closer to how I usually imagine the game's going. I don't know about you, but when I'm playing, Special is the one that I imagine. And interesting fact, Satoshi Tajiri has called it the most faithful adaptation of his games.
Oh, yeah?
And some people take that as him approving of the dark violence. I think it's more so that he really likes the close adherence to the mechanics of the games.
Yeah.
He didn't mention the chopped in half Arbok or the zombie Psyduck.
Nope.
But, any other thing else that you want to say about these 3 adaptations, or?
No, I think what we said needed to be said and has been said.
All right, excellent. Well, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to be getting more Pokemon videos coming towards you soon, but also some more regular Onyx Tavern videos. I think he's got something that he wants to talk about.
Go ahead and look for me on Twitter coming up soon. I'll be Tryaz. I will be uploading battle videos to the Tavern and the gym sites shortly. Just doing some commentary and stuff. I have been doing VGC for a while. I will take requests on if you want to see me do singles or even challenge me, for that matter of fact. I'm always up for a challenge, and I will always accept challenges, as all Pokemon trainers should.
Yes, and additionally, one more thing. We will be placing a link in the comments to our Ditto and Mewtwo giveaway. Mm-hmm. Both are foreign, shiny, and perfect IV. Mm-hmm. One's perfect for just having the most powerful possible thing. Oh, also holding Mewtwo Knight of your choice, by the way.
X or Y.
And one's just the best breeding tool you could possibly get.
Seriously, I bred a 6 IV Shellas and Hippopotas last night in an hour.
So, yeah, anyways, check that giveaway out. All you have to do is subscribe to the Tavern, like the Tavern on Facebook, and share the photo for all your other friends to see.
Once we hit 500 subscribers, we will be drawing. Don't forget your friend code.
Yes, and also keep an eye out for more giveaways in the future. But again, thanks for tuning in. And the gym is now closed.